He's like, "What?"
The Bearded Bros podcast on the Titan Sports Network.
Two bearded dudes sitting in a pod, talking sports, never really bored. From football to basketball, they dive deep, laughing and debating, making us keep. They share their thoughts, no matter how wild. In a room filled with beard and pride, the refs might not understand, but they know what's right. No need to explain. The Bearded Bros, they're the best. Podcast fun with no rest. Sports talk with a side of jest. Laugh and learn as they say. They're not afraid to disagree. In a world of sports, they'll always be free. Bearded wisdom you can rely. In their podcast, you won't feel shy. Through wins and losses, they stay true. Discussing every play through and through. Their passion for games is clear to see. In their chatter, we all agree. The Bearded Bros, they're the best. Podcast fun with no rest. Sports talk with a side of jest. Laugh and learn as they say. They're not just talk, they act too. Making jokes, giving us a clue. The Bearded Bros, they're the crew. Podcast fun till the very end, you knew. Bearded Bros, they're the crew. Podcast fun till the very end, you knew.
Oh, what's up, everybody? Oh man, Sunday night. Getting closer to football season. I'm glad we can say Sunday night recap. Right? I mean, we're getting close. Of course, I'm Derek. This is Dustin. We are the Bearded Bros, and we've got a pretty cool show tonight. A lot to talk about. A lot has happened today in the world of sports.
Yes, a lot going on. We got a special guest with us now. We're super excited to talk about him and his football career. He is from right up the road from us in Longview, Texas, so we're super excited about that. We've had a lot of stuff go down in the NBA within the last 6-7 hours. Obviously, Kevin Durant gets traded, so we'll break that down and talk about some other stuff in the NBA. And we got the draft coming up too Wednesday, so we'll talk about that and kind of dive into that. Something else I'm bringing tonight, this is for me personally, but I want to talk about some UFC stuff. We had a retirement this weekend that I am super disappointed in. But, hey, sometimes you got to retire at the right time, so we'll talk about that. College World Series ended in disappointing fashion for me.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that some more. And then the NBA Finals just kicked off 2 minutes ago, Game 7. And by the way, Derek, that's the first Game 7 in 9 years.
I'm about to say it's been a while.
Do you know who that game was? Between who?
Oh, Game 7 9 years ago. What is this? It'll be 16. Warriors, Cavs?
Mm-hmm. Warriors and Cavs. You are correct. That was the famous comeback by the Cleveland Cavaliers. So that was the last Game 7. So we got an exciting show. So before we bring our guest in, let's run our sponsor for the evening, and we will get him in here with us. Hey, how's it going, Mr. Pete?
Man, I'm doing good. How you doing, Dustin?
Good, man. We appreciate you joining us and giving us some of your time to talk about your career, man.
Of course, man. I appreciate y'all for having me on for sure.
Well, kind of, man, take us back, man, to those days at Longview High School and kind of where you are now, man.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna take y'all back a little bit further, man. When I first ever started, I started playing football in first grade. I think at the time in like Little League, like East Texas area was Longview. You can start around second or third.
Mhm.
But I was able to start earlier because I was I had a nice size on me as a kid. And man, it started from my first team I was ever on was like the Justin Blue Devils. And
Okay.
I remember my first coach, Galen Davis. It was like
So,
after a couple of practices.
Galen Davis is the board member out here in New Diana now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man,
Okay.
Galen Davis was my first football coach ever, like organized ever. And I remember him going up to my mom, and my mom said something to me briefly, like afterwards. But he was pretty much telling my mom, like, this kid right here, like he got it. You know what I mean? I grew up playing football, of course, that backyard football in the street, in the yard, wherever you can play, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Galen was the first coach. Well, he was my first coach to kind of let me and my mom know that, you know, say it was something special in the works for sure.
And so you say you went to Judson, right?
Oh yeah, I went to Justin Middle School.
Okay, so let me ask you this: pre-Judson, where were you at?
Say it one more time.
Where did you go before Judson?
Before Justin, I went to Jody McClear.
Okay, not
So
Doris McQueen.
Yeah. So I was at Doris McQueen for 1 year. Then I was on there for 1 year. Then I went to Moselle.
Okay.
Justin, and I was on there for 1 year. Then I spent the rest of my time in elementary at Jody McClear.
Okay. Yes, I went to Doris McQueen kindergarten, first and second.
Okay. I was at Doris McQueen's just second grade.
Just second grade. Yeah. That's when you said Judson, like that was the next step from Doris McQueen. Man, you went Doris McQueen
Oh, for sure.
to Judson. Yeah. But I went a different route. I went Doris McQueen to Spring Hill. So I went a whole different school system.
Right up the road, but different school system.
Yeah. On the other side of the loop.
Yeah, literally.
So you're at Judson, and were you strictly a football guy or basketball, baseball, track?
So even like from being younger, I wasn't just a football guy. Baseball, basketball here and there. I liked the basketball; it was cool, but I only played it because a lot of my cousins played. A lot of guys I was close with played. But for me, it was either baseball or football, truly. You know, and I was pretty good at baseball as well. And then it was just football was just coming from East Texas, man. You know, football is like
it's life.
It's like
Football's
life or death. Either you're gonna be on life support with football, or you just gonna end it. You know,
That's
it. You ain't got no choice. So
and now
it was football.
It's bigger in East Texas, I think, than the rest of Texas. But people outside of Texas don't understand it. Like they don't understand they can't.
No, they really don't, man. Because you know, a lot of like, especially on social media, like on Instagram, so like that, you'll see Texas football, but you seeing the city teams. The team that's in Dallas and Houston, and you know what I mean. And they got good programs. Not taking them from them, but that East Texas ball it's a little different. Man.
I mean, I am personally, when it comes to East Texas football, I'm still in it every single year. I watch Longview play. I watch Gilmer, Carthage. I mean, I watch East Texas a little 6-man. Like I'm invested in high school sports so much,
right.
Still to this day. And probably what took me was my nephew. He played at Gilmer, and he still has the leading tackling record at Gilmer. And so, like, I love high school sports. Like, I don't know what it is still about it, but it's the East Texas Friday Night Lights for me. Everywhere.
Oh, for sure. Guaranteed.
Well, kind of kick us off. High school comes around.
Okay, yeah.
When high school,
So high school comes around. It's crazy because I was pretty much a quarterback. I was a quarterback from the whole years at Judson, and then going to my freshman year, I was at quarterback. And then we had a great season. I think we only lost one game, if that, but it was pretty easy for all of us our freshman year. And going into my sophomore year, I remember going up to Coach King, and if anybody really know Coach King, they know what type of guy he is. Great guy, by the way.
I was going to
He's a
ask you
great
about
guy.
him. Like,
I've heard a bunch of stories about him, just all around good dude, but I've never met him.
Yeah, he's an all around. He's a great dude, man. I tell you this, he'll want the best for your kid. You let him get full control of your kid, he gonna want best for your kid. And that was what my parents did. You know, everyone around, like when I got up there at the high school, they pretty much just let Coach King and a guy named Jared Ball at the time that was there, Coach Berry, all them guys. They pretty much just let them. My mom just let them just grab me. And Coach King's one of them guys where he ain't gonna settle for BS. You know what I mean? he gonna expect the best out of you every single day, but he gonna make sure you come and you prepared. But then again, he gonna put that bulldog factor in you. He gonna turn you into something that you'll never think you'll be able to come playing a game of football. You know, and I feel like that's what separate Longview from a lot of these East Texas schools is the mindset you have leaving out of Longview High School playing football. So it's like you already in college, but in high school. You know what I mean? When it comes to workouts, when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, we're not going to demand perfection, but it's going to damn near be close. You know what I mean? So I think that's what creates a lot of true monsters coming out of Longview is that mindset.
yeah, Longview, I mean, every year they're always in it, man. I mean, every year. Even when you say they've had a down year, they're in it still. They Coach King has been there for so long, and I think he has one of the best programs in East Texas. And you know, even when his son was there, I mean, he wasn't. From what I heard, he didn't take it easy on him either. He's not I pick my players. He's for everybody. He's for
I'm
everybody.
not gonna lie. He used to be on his son, and I love Haynes. I was talking to Haynes the other day. He used to be on Haynes' ass so bad when he was younger. Being at the football practice, I used to be like, Coach, chill out. Like, chill.
Do you think that's what's missing in this generation? And I'm not talking about just football. I'm talking about the parent side of it, letting the coaches kind of get on the kids without stepping in.
Man, that's the main factor. Because even like the past 2 off seasons I was coaching at Justin. I came back home and I want to be around the kids. I want to install what Malcolm installed into me. And I was coaching at Justin, but man, it's not the kids. It's a lot of the parents now. You know, but that's just how things done changed. But you know how pretty much how we grew up and stuff like that. You know, once you go on to baseball practice, football practice, whatever, it's what the coach saying. It ain't by what you don't want to do or this too hard. You can't go home crying to your mom and them because they're gonna be like, what you want us to do?
It.
You know what I'm saying? Now kids go home and complain one time. Now parents want to call the coach and you want like it's
my daughter gets mad at us, or our daughter gets mad at us because every year, the first day of school, I'll send a message to all the coaches, and I'll say, "Hey, fully support you. Whatever you got to do, whatever you get on her, get on her. You praise her, praise her." I said, "You ain't gonna hear nothing from us because we're hard on her from the stands. So I need you to be hard on her from the bench." And she gets mad at that. She's like, "They always riding me. They're always doing this." Well, that's because they want something from you. They see something, and that's what kids don't understand these days. If the coach is letting you get away with the small things, they don't care about you. Not care about you, but you're not part of what they're trying to build. Now, if they're dogging you every day, like you said Coach King was to his son, he needs him to step up. He needs him to be that leader.
Right. Yeah. And then that's like, you know what I said, man, but that's just installed. Like, and it's strange for me to see it in Longview because I'm so used to all the parents just letting the, you know what I mean, letting the coaches and stuff, the teachers will just, you know, handle it there. But a lot of the parents, you know, feel like they just step in and kind of intervene a little bit.
Yeah.
But just so still on my career just from Longview. After my freshman year, I ended up. I said I got to talk about Coach King, but I can go all day with him. But yeah, I remember I went up to him because growing up in Longview, after seeing Trent and Malcolm, Chris Ivory, seeing all them guys, and like even you look on the other side, you look at Lufkin, you got Javorsky Lane, Dez Bryant,
Reggie McNeil.
Reggie McNeil, you see, like you ready to be on varsity around that time. Like when you show time, you ready to be on varsity because you know what attention is going to bring. So I remember going in before summer camp, like doing some work, because I go up to Coach King and I'm like, hey, Coach, like, messing with him. I'm like, I know I'm going to be on varsity. Woo, woo. Like, trying to ease my way in, the easy way to get on varsity. And I remember he gave me the most dirtiest look. Y'all, I'm talking about like, the look was like, why you even talking to me? So I'm like, I'm trying to see if I can be on varsity, man. And he was like, he looked me dead in my eyes and told me, he said, show me why I should put you on varsity. And I was like, I already thinking, I'm like, bro, I'm the most talented kids in the freshman class. Like, it shouldn't even be a question, and that's me being entitled at that time. And I ended up saying, I'm like, you know what? You're right. I think that next camp, that camp coming up, guys, I kid you not. And I don't want to say no names, but I picked out the biggest DB because they moved me from quarterback to receiver. And I played wide receiver for 2 years and long as my sophomore, junior year. I picked out the biggest DB we had. And I made it my mission to embarrass him every single day. I didn't even care about catching the ball. I just knew every time I seen him, I was going to drag him 24/7. I had to. Because the coach, he sat there and asked me, he was pretty much like, he was telling me, show me why I should put you on varsity. So in my mind, the only thing I knew was, okay, physicality. And that's what Longview built off of. I know right now, I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to have to do somebody bad every day until they just tell me to stop, that I'm doing too much. And that's pretty much what I did. And I ended up becoming, my sophomore year on varsity and had some good plays, played in the state championship game that year as well, played throughout the playoff games. So played throughout the season, honestly. So I enjoyed it, man. And I think from that start on, that's when everything really started to kick in. But obviously, I was still playing offense, you know what I mean? So by the time I got to college, I ain't see offense another day.
So, speaking of college, were you recruited as offense or was it defense? Or did they switch you?
So it's funny because when it came to college recruiting, like I played so many positions in high school, like colleges listed me as an athlete. And so my main position on defense where college wanted me to play was free safety. They wanted me to start at free safety, right? So I didn't really know going into Texas Tech that I was going to really be on defense. I think they kind of finessed me a little bit, telling me I'm going to play offense, and just to get me to sign the letter of 10. Once you sign that letter of 10, it's a wrap. Back from back then to now, it's different. Of course, you see how the college player, they pretty much doing what they want, getting paid, whatever. So, but back then, you saw that letter of 10, you're done. It's by where they want to put you and what you can do for them to help the program win. So I remember coming in, guys, they started me off at free safety. I was the biggest free safety there, and I was only a freshman. I was like, I think my freshman year, I went in right at like 6'2", 230.
God.
Yeah. My senior year in Longview, I was like 6'2", 220 at quarterback. So I had like 10 pounds. I had like 10 pounds going on me in college. So, but free safety started good because I was naturally a ball guy. I already had a natural knack for the ball. It didn't matter what position I was playing. I was gonna always find a way to the ball, And I remember I ended up getting like a little small injury in my shoulder to where I had to sit out, and pretty much they gave me like a medical red shirt. and it kind of went from there. And I didn't. I played. I think in college, I played four positions before I went to defensive end.
Wow.
Didn't have no idea about defense end. Didn't have no idea. Didn't have no idea nothing about.
So you just, yeah, I mean, to learn that on the fly, especially in college, is pretty amazing in and of itself.
Right.
Yeah. So Longview's big, but now, I mean, because we've talked to some kids that come from like hooks, like little 2-3A schools. Now Longview's a 6A now, and that's big. What was that Longview campus like compared to that Texas Tech campus? I mean, did you feel overwhelmed? Were you kind of used to it? How did that work?
Well, for one, I got to tell people, being in East Texas or being, around here, like, the town, like, everybody around is not really just a huge town. You know what I mean? It's always a decent town, I think the biggest thing with me when I got to college was me being in Lubbock, and we actually got good on the highway to go somewhere. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, you know what, bro? This too big. I'm like, this is way too big, But the being at Longview, man, I'm gonna be honest, like I tell a lot of these kids now, like I had so much fun at the high school. Besides football, we had so much fun, like. We didn't really notice our school was that big until we left. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day it was something, we had all them friends that they gonna find a way to either do something crazy or have you laughing throughout the day or whatever case may be. So we had so much fun in high school. I didn't really notice our schools that big until I started to meet other guys in college, and we comparing the schools. And at the time we knew 4A, 5A, and stuff like that, but I didn't truly know that 4A and 5A depended on how many kids you had at your school. You know what I mean? So when I got to Tech, it's funny because at the time, and I think it still is, Texas Tech is like the second or third biggest campus in the nation. Like,
wow.
So
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, it's a huge campus, like a huge campus. So I think, like, even when it came to football, a lot of the football guys, like, a lot of our classes wasn't just all over the campus, especially based off your major and stuff like that. So a lot of our classes was like in the same 2 or 3 buildings. I just say about 3 to 4 buildings, but it wasn't to a point where I was like, yeah, I'm lost, because I knew at the end of the day, I just need to find my way to this football facility. That was the main thing. So, yeah.
So we had a follower of ours. He lives in Kansas City. He says, obviously Mahomes is a big deal here. He said you overlapped with Mahomes at Tech early. Could you tell that Patrick was something special back at Tech?
Guaranteed, man. Me and Pat, when Pat came in, not even just Pat, but all the East Texas guys. When all the East Texas guys got together, we already knew who was from East Texas. We had a guy from Tennehaw. We had a guy from Lufkin, me, Pat, man. All the East Texas guys naturally stuck together, you know what I mean? Because we knew what type of football we played in our area, all the East Texas guys. And I remember when Pat first got there, I think Baker was just now going to leave, or Baker was there as well. And I remember we was like at practice, man. We was just having regular practice, and I kid you guys not. I remember Pat, he's rolling out, and at the time, this one I'm at outside linebacker, defense end, and he rolling out, and he's looking me dead in the eyes, and he throw a dig route, like the no look pass that everybody in the NFL. He did that then as like a freshman or sophomore. But when he did that, and I'm looking at, I'm confused. And he looked at me, and I knew right then. I'm like, yeah. He's gonna be one of the ones. And listen, what a lot of people don't know. I remember like it was yesterday because me and Pat was close. His first game ever starting was against the University of Texas on Halloween night, and this when University of Texas still had Quandre Diggs, the DB. So I remember before the game, I'm like hyping Pat up. You know, I'm telling them, I'm talking East Texas talk. I'm
Oh, I know what that. We know what that's like.
Yeah, I'm cussing him out. I'm cussing him out. I done grabbed him by the back of his neck. I'm like, you better let him know you know what I'm saying, who you is, man. You know, okay, this time I was already, you know, ed tech and made a little name for myself. So I'm hyping up my little brother. So I'm grabbing, but I'm seeing the look in his eyes, like he got it, y'all. I can't make this up. I want to say it was like second quarter, if that. He go to run a little RPO, and he ended up pulling it. Well, our slot receiver didn't block Crondre, and that's the last guy you don't want to block.
Yeah,
Man, he came downhill and drilled Pat so hard, y'all. I'm talking about, bro, like knocked Pat out. Pat didn't even know. He didn't even know like what was going on. It's like 4th and long at this point. And Pat get up trying to call the NASCAR offense, and everybody else looking at him like, nah, but you might want to come over here. But once he got to the sideline, he like snapped back, you know what I mean, to realize what everything was going on. When I tell y'all, I ain't never, like, I used to trip out a lot. But when I tell y'all, I never seen a quarterback act like this just because he couldn't go back. I'm talking about, I thought he was about to fight the trainers. That's how bad he wanted to get back in the game. Like, that's how bad he wanted. It's like he wanted to get his lick back. You get what I'm saying? And I knew right then, I'm like, yeah, he gonna be something special. And that next year when we played, that's when I knew then. I'm like, and he started every game. I'm like, yeah, he the truth. I don't know how he was doing half of the stuff he was doing. And he was making it happen, man. I knew he was gonna be special. I even told Trent that when I remember when Trent was in Washington, and once the Kansas City drafted him, me and Trent sitting there watching the draft at his house, and Trent was like, I told Trent, I was like, yeah, they got a special one. When Trent say, well, yeah, you know, y'all ran the spread in college, so he need to get used to the eye and being under the center. And I told Trent, I said, no, trust me.
Yeah, ain't no eye formation in Kansas City.
No, listen, I say, trust me. This is what I told Trent. I'm like, I don't care what they running. I don't, because I'm gonna tell you, I know what he gonna do for sure.
Yeah,
and obviously, you know, we see it, man. He one of the best to do it, man.
So what year were you at Tech?
I was at Tech from 2011 to 2015.
Was Brandon Carter there when you were there?
No, Brandon Carter around like Trent them age.
Yeah, he was my team. He was my teammate back in Spring Hill. I didn't know if he was there. Yeah, I guess it'd be a little bit earlier.
Brandon Carter one of the reasons why I started my face paint.
Your face paint, yeah, that's exactly what I kind of why I was asking that. I didn't know if that was inspired by him or what.
When I found out he was an East Texas guy, and because I always like just watching Tech, anybody growing up. I remember Texas Tech used to be top notch, you know, with Crabtree, Graham Harrell, and then they were known for the offensive line, and Brandon Carter was one of the main faces for the O-line. And I just remember seeing randomly, you'll see Brandon Carter. Of course, I didn't know who he was at the time, but you'll be like, bro, who is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he'll do heels all type of different ways. So I started my freshman year just doing black. And as I started to make a household name for myself, man, that's when I started to switch it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
man, he's one of the most, he's one of the smartest people I know. Brandon is so intelligent. I mean, by seeing him on the screen with all that crazy stuff on his face, you're like, man, this dude just here to play football. But and he is so smart. He's a good dude too. I mean, he's pretty solid. So
I'm gonna ask you if I could.
Go ahead.
Was it always Texas Tech for you coming out of high school? Was there other like? I'm going to assume you had other offers, but what was it for Tech that separated from the field that you had looking at you?
Well, man, I think it's more so how I grew up. You know, I grew up on the south side of Longview. It's about really how I grew up, man. I just knew, and a lot of people from East Texas know, you know, we see the certain guys that go off to college and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But it's a lot of guys, I'm pretty sure y'all know, that was it's good, but even better, but then get that opportunity to leave East Texas. You know what I mean? And the biggest thing with me, like I had offers from school, like let's say from Baylor and TCU. And both at the time, they was really good, both at the time, because that's when the Big 12 was really good. I just knew I had to get far from Longview as possible. You know what I mean? I didn't want to. It's not a day. I didn't want to come back and, you know what I mean, just you can be in the wrong place at the wrong time, or you know what I'm saying, hanging out with my homeboys that I still love dearly to this day. You know, when I see them, I give them her. I would let them. I know I love them, but I just knew putting myself in that position where anything could have happened. You know what I mean? So with me being closest, like I feel like if I like is Louisiana Tech, or like I said, TCU, Baylor, if I'd have went somewhere close, it wasn't gonna be better, beneficial for me. You know, because I love Longview. I love everywhere I go. I let people know I'm from East Texas. I don't just say Texas. I say East Texas. You know,
that's it.
So,
it was almost like a fresh start for you, in a way, from East Texas.
Right. That, and I knew being out there and being that far away that I didn't have no choice really to figure out who I was or who I wanted to be. You know what I mean? So that's why I went that far for sure.
So let's kind of fast forward a little bit. You said that you started making a name for yourself at Tech, and the attention kind of starts coming to you, and the draft starts rolling up. What kind of was that process like, getting ready for that, and trying to figure out what your next move was there?
Right. Man, the process started out smoothly. Right after my last game of the year, we played LSU in the bowl game up there when they had Fournette. What was that? Fournette. That's
Leonard Fournette.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Fournette and Darius Geis and all them guys. Tre'Davious, what's his name? Tre'Davious White, the guy that played cornerback for the Bills.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, they was loaded. I remember after our last game, and my first time really being out the state of Texas. My agent, Vince Taylor, which he's from Longview, born and raised, he sent me to LA. And I was in LA, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, damn. I'm like, okay, now that was giving me more to sign. I'm like, okay, I guess this dream really about to come true. Because, everybody, as kids, the teachers ask you kindergarten, first grade, what you want to be when you grow up. And when you actually going down that road, when you said as a first grader, like it seemed so unreal, So I'm like, oh my God. And like it was to a point where, God blessed me with some financial help to able to move my mom from Longview, got her a place in Dallas, got her started off there, help with my brother and dad and stuff like that. So I think when I first got there, it felt so good, because I knew I was already on that path to, become an NFL player. But doing training, man, a lot of people don't know, and I don't speak on it at all. My spine ended up collapsing while I was training. We was doing deadlifts, man, and we had a certain amount of weight on there with some resistance bands, and I was doing good. My body was feeling good. It wasn't nothing crazy. And it was I was going to do the next set. And as I came up, my spine collapsed. So when my spine collapsed, my disc had slipped out. But also with my spine collapsing, it snatched all my nerves. And it had all my nerves tangled up. Your nerves kind of like wire. So it had them all tangled up. So I think I was out on the ground for 10 minutes. I had to bring a cart up and come get me. And I knew something was wrong because I never just really been injured like that. And I knew something was wrong, not just one of them injuries where all right, when you're playing football, I'll be all right in a couple of days. I knew, I'm yeah, I might be done type of injury, So I was still in LA for a little bit, but I remember calling my agent because had so much stuff racing through my mind. I told him, I'm like, bro, I got to get out of here. I need to come back home. I need to at least be in Dallas or somewhere close. I need to get out of here. So by the time I make it home, y'all, I kid you not, my nerves and spine was still so messed up. My nerves was snatched, was grabbed, was still stuck with my spine for so long. It turned all my nerves off of my left leg. So pretty much every muscle in my left leg, went from my hamstring to my quad, my groin, calf muscle, did not one muscle work. So it was like pretty much my leg was just up just because of my bones. You know what I mean? And
Wow.
I'd be walking. It was times I was walking and like my knee will just buckle on my leg because my muscles wasn't firing at all. And so within that little process, yeah, it was kind of rough after that. But I ended up getting healthy. My agent Vince did a great job of getting me with this doctor he was real connected with. That pretty much worked on Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis last year with his bicep. This same guy helped me out, and luckily I didn't have to have like no major surgery. I had to do like a laser treatment. It's kind of like a little surgery, but you're not getting put to sleep. So after they pretty much got my spine back straight and got everything lined out, and my nerves got everything back right, but my nerves was pulled so long, they were pretty much dead. My nerves was just pretty much dead. So they had to hit me with the laser surgeries to like pretty much shock my nerves to bring them back. So I had to do that like 3 times a week. And I'm gonna tell you a funny story. I was just talking with my agent the other day when I was up in Dallas, and he brought it up. So around this time when I'm in that same position, like legs still not working properly or nothing like that, my pro day came up. So my pro day came up. My agent was pretty much telling me, he was like, "Hey Pete, look, they already got you as one of the top pass rushers, whatever the case may be. Don't go out and do the pro day." You know what I mean? He pretty much don't go out because, you know, a lot of people lose and raise draft stocks just off of pro day. Not the film and what they did, just off pro days. So me being from Longview, how I was born and raised, just being from East Texas, I was really like, F that. I was like, man, F that, bro. I was like, I'm going to go out here because I know at the end of the day, I don't care if I'm hurt or not. I know what type of football player I am. And I know what I'm going to bring to the table, and I know how to perform on all levels. Well, my agent was hot as fish grease because I went out there and did it. I went out there and did it anyway, man. I'm going to be honest with you. Out of all these decisions I've playing professional football, going there, that was probably the worst decision I could have made.
Really?
That was probably it's just that Longview mindset what me and him was talking about. It don't matter what you going through. You know what I mean? Always come on with your chest out, head up, and you're gonna go through the fire, you know, and just within dealing in the process of going to professional football and how much they judge our pro days, that's the only reason why I say that was probably the worst decision within my whole professional career.
Do you think they put more stock in pro days than film?
Yes, and it's sad. Yes, for sure.
I'm gonna say that is kind of weird that you get one day to kind of show out versus a 12 game year.
For sure. Especially if a guy come out, let's just say a D lineman or a DN, he's 6'5", 6'6", 275, don't have no lick of film, but then get out there and run a 4.4, 4.5. Now he on everybody's draft board.
He on everybody, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
But now they trying to figure out how he this big running this fast. Well, God bless a lot of people with a lot of gifts. You know what I mean? And like one of my old coaches used to say back in the day about any guy who was playing football, and my coach said his exact words. He say, man, he's a great guy, lovable guy, but just a bad player. You know what I mean? Hey, we love him. He look good. You know, he can run, but hey, you know, but that's how it is. And that's how it is playing, man. Like, you got people that can test really good when it comes to those 40 times, broad jumps, the bench, all that. But then put them out there on the field, you don't see none of that.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Versus the guys that you don't really hear about, and then you put them on the field. Now everybody wondering, who is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
So-
the game of football isn't about the speed; it's about technique. It's about
Mhm.
IQ. It's about a lot of things besides just speed and how much you can lift, what your 40 time is. There's so much more to football than just what you see at pro day, and that's personally, and I think Derek would agree with me, is like the pro days are great, but why don't you just go look at this person's film and you can see what they really can do on the field outside of just these little bitty drills you can do that,
Yeah.
I mean,
yes,
I know
they can
you,
show
you
some
talked about
things.
Adrian Peterson earlier. You saw what Adrian Peterson can do on the field. Now, if he had a bad pro day, was he really going to slip? I mean, who would have been dumb enough to let him slip just off of one bad day? You know, that's
Right.
what I feel about the pro days and just putting so much stock into it.
Well, everybody has a bad.
Right.
Everybody has a bad day too. Like your pro day
Yeah.
could be that one bad day, and it could literally ruin your career. It could.
Right. It could, yeah. If you let it.
Yeah, if you let it.
The one thing I wasn't finna let it do nothing. You know, I still
Yeah.
went for 9 strong. You know what I mean?
So-
Hey, after that pro day, how are you feeling?
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I don't want it to be cussing on here, man. I ain't give a damn. Man, I went right back to the house because, man, even for me to getting to that point, being from Longview, man, I felt accomplished. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
like I didn't got a college degree. I only played defensive end for technically 2.5 years. I'm number 3, number 4 all time in sacks. I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I wasn't tripping. I wasn't tripping at the time, man. I wasn't. I was about to. My daughter was about to get ready to be born soon. My first kid, and like I said, my mom was happy. My dad and them, everybody. I was like, man, I'm not tripping, but I still had the opportunity to go and to play for 9. So it was a
That's
blessing for sure.
So that's kind of where my next question was headed. We're at draft night now, and what was that phone call like? I'm assuming it was a phone call that you got drafted, correct?
No, with my back injury, teams didn't know if I was going to be able to play, so I went undrafted.
Oh, so you went undrafted. Okay. So kind of searching for teams. I mean, do they reach out, or is it the agent that reaches out for you to the teams? How does that process work?
Right. So that process, and like I was explaining to a guy about a month ago, when the draft ends, them days people see on TV, when that ends, the draft is still not done. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of guys that get undrafted, but they're getting signed as an undrafted player right off the muscle.
Right.
You know what I mean? And a lot of teams will be sitting in the NFL, and then they know that this certain guy, he going to slip down to the bottom. But they going to want him because they can get him for a steal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Okay, yeah, he go to the bottom, boom. Like, for instance, I think if not let me get, because I play again, I think Tyreek might. Was Tyreek here? Because we came out the same year.
He was like
got into
a 6th. He was 6th or 7th round. He was closer to the bottom.
He was closer to the bottom, but the thing is, people already knew they can get him for a steal just due to the fact of his the little issues he ran running into college.
Yep, the trouble.
You know
Yep.
what I mean? So when teams not picking them, man, what a team do, they'll just sit back and wait. It's like a chess game. They'll sit back and wait till them good players fall to the bottom and then grab them from there. Because that's cheap for them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So after them 3, I'm gonna be honest. When the draft first started, that first day, had family over. We pretty much cooked, hung out. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't think I looked at the TV not one time. I was just enjoying time with my family, man. I wasn't even worried about the draft. Me and my agent, I already knew, with my injury that it was gonna be a minute. So I just enjoyed my family like them 2 or 3 days, and that last day, like right around like the 7th round and stuff, that's why I started to pay attention. And then soon as I kid y'all not, soon as the draft ended, Detroit called me. And Detroit was like, we want you, we wanted to take you, but we don't know about the injury. How you feeling now, whatever the case might be. But by this time I'm back 100%. Don't know the team know that though. And I'm like, man, I'm good. Like, I'm ready to play. They were like, all right, well, we finna drop your contract because we finna sign you as a undrafted free agent. We're gonna give you some money. Blase. Kid y'all not. As soon as I hung up the phone, Seattle called. And this one, Seattle still got the whole Legion of Boom. Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, Earl Thompson. They got everybody. Bro, they called me, and it was Pete Carroll. It was the guy in Pete. He was like, yeah, we want to take you, man. How you? He said, this is exact words. He was like, we don't know if we're gonna sign you as a free agent, right? But we want to go on and bring you in. And so pretty much like it had a rookie minicamp. Pretty much all the guys are still trying out for the team, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat there, I was like, well, I don't know much about Detroit. And at the time, Detroit wasn't good. You know what I mean? So when Seattle got on the phone, this the year they just lost to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. So this the year after. So when they got, I told I say, boy, you know where we going? We can go to Seattle. I'm not wasting no time, huh? And I remember when I got there, I got to Seattle, and they had me at defensive end, and I can't make this up. Like, and this is just that long view mentality. I remember going in, and I looked at the board where all the rookies and stuff, and they had, pretty much had everybody who was going to be the starter during rookie minicamp, second string, third, fourth. Guys, I can't make this up. I was the fourth guy at the end. So I'm like, when I see it, I get pissed off. I say, fourth? I'm like, okay, that's a big one. My rookie minicamp is pretty much, right, rookie camp is pretty much only 2 or 3 days. Like, it's not much. So you got at the bottom, like, you got to make the most of your reps. Like, if you get out there, you got to. You don't have no other choice. By the last day, I was the number one starter.
There you go.
At rookie minicamp.
Wow.
That quick. So, yeah, man. It was, but that's why I said that long view mentality, man. I seen the guys in front of me, and I was cool with them guys. Like, they was good dudes. But I knew what I came for. And I ain't come here to chit-chat a lot, And by me gaining that success just doing rookie minicamp, I got close. Me and Bobby Wagner still close. KJ Wright. Me and Richard Sherman, we still play Xbox together. You know what I'm saying? So,
that is so cool.
I'm still cool with Earl Thompson. I run into them guys and stuff like that. But nah, man, it was super nice. Michael Bennett was one of my main guys.
I was gonna say, was Bennett there when you were there?
Yes, his crazy self was there. That was my boy. I was always with Mike Bennett. And then what's funny, man, is just even being professional all my years. Like every year, like I never was hanging out, and I was cool with guys around the same year as me or rookies, but the older guys always kept me with them. Like I always was with the older guys on every team. So, it was cool. It was cool.
So we had our follower asked. He said, "What's an undrafted free agent contract look like? Like, is it a year to year? Is it multiple years? How do those work?"
It's year to year. This just depends on what them and your agent discuss, and which of course your agent will discuss it with you. But it might be a year contract, or it might be 2 years. You know what I mean? So it all varies on what they want to sign you as, pretty much.
Okay.
They make up the contracts, pretty much.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long were you in Seattle?
I was in Seattle until I want to say either the first game of the season or towards the end of preseason, because I remember playing against the Cowboys. That's when Tony Romo got hurt.
Romo got hurt. Yep.
Yeah, he got hurt, and when Cliff Averill sacked him, he sacked him right in front of me. Like I seen it, like it was like right there.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I thought you were supposed to say you was the one that hurt him. I was supposed to have to come up there to Dallas and talk to you about something real quick.
but now when Romo, I remember like it was yesterday when Romo got hurt. But it was like kind of after that game, and then I ended up, because they paid some guys, so I ended up getting released for a little bit. And then I ended up getting released, and then that's when I ended up going to Washington. At the time, they was the Redskins, Commanders now. But when I ended up getting picked up by Washington, I'm like, I'm like, now, God, now is this what you've been telling me since high school that I was coming over here? You know what I mean? And Trent, at that time, Trent was already set up. I think he was probably 10 years or going on 10,
Yeah.
9 years already in. So I remember when soon I landed to Washington, like this each team though, like guys come in, they take you to a hotel, pretty much team hotel. You stay there because of course don't want to just have a home soon you get there.
Right.
And I remember the driver for Washington, he about to take me to the hotel, and I was like, no, I'm going to Trent house. He like turned around and looked at me. He was like, Trent, will you? I'm like, yeah. I'm not staying. I'm going to Trent house. Yeah.
How was that going from that Seattle to going to Washington and playing with an ex-Lobo on that team for you?
For me, man, it was a big deal for me because I always wanted to play with them or against them, like because from growing up and watching all them play in them legendary games, especially Longview and Lufkin back in the day around that time.
No, those games are still there, man.
You're right. It was so unreal because in my mind, I'm like, I can't believe I'm on the same team as Trent. Like, bro, what?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm like, I used to watch you play. I ain't never thought. Like I always hoped for, but I ain't never thought it was gonna be the day we actually on the same team.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So that was so unreal, man. It was so unreal. And Trent, man, he a good man. Even just a good hearted man. He did, and I ain't never asked, man. He just took care of me. You know what I'm saying? He looked out for me. Made sure I needed anything I needed. He made sure I already had it before it even came up. And man, that's what he did pretty much them 2 years. And I spent I was with him all the time. So me being with him, especially being in Washington, everybody want to be around Trent, you know. So due to the fact that I was just already underneath him, you know, I was hanging out with everybody. Me and Jordan Reed, the tight end.
Mm-hmm.
We're close friends now. Yeah, we are super close friends. Yeah.
You know, I always try to put myself into either a college athlete or a professional athlete's mindset, and I go back to say Longview. Friday night, you're getting out of school, you're getting on the big yellow bus, you're driving to Tyler, 45 minutes an hour to play a game. Then you get to college, and you're flying an hour and a half, 2 hours to go play from Tech to TCU. Then you get in the NFL, you flying from Washington to San Diego to go play. I mean, I can't wrap my head around that. How do you, what mentally you have to get prepared for that big flight, for that big game, as opposed to, you know, the hour drive on the bus.
Right, man. I think the flights was way easier, man. The flights made it even when like say for instance when I was in the Big 12 playing at Tech, when West Virginia came over to the Big 12, and we had to go out there for them games. I remember like flying, like, you know, well, being a professional in college. Soon you get on a plane, you got snacks, food, you know, and they're gonna have stuff what you need. At Texas Tech, especially when Coach Kingsbury got there, he let the starters out of the main guys. We sit in first class. You know what I mean? So like, and that's how Kingsbury, and that's how I do it in the NFL. They do it in the NFL as well. But it was lovely. And then a lot of people don't know. Like, I don't care where you travel to. Like, you go out there that day before the game, you're gonna play that game. Soon you get done with that game, you're heading back to the airport. You flying back to wherever you live at. Like in college, NFL, you're flying right back. Like,
there ain't no downtime in between flights. You're instantly going right back.
Nah, it ain't no downtime. The most downtime I had with like traveling like that, you know, after a game, like the most is when I played in Canada the past 4 years. And Canada is still the exact same type of football, but you got way more time on your hands than what the NFL requires. I don't think a lot of people know that being in the NFL, even in college, like you don't have a lot of time to do much. Like you don't. Maybe on a true off day, but on that true off day, you want to make sure your body right. If you got some nicks and bruises and stuff like that. But You don't really have much time during that season because like you
Football's
go
life.
in,
Football's
it's
life.
life. It's
Yeah.
life. Like in the NFL, you go in, that you'll get there 6 or 7 in the morning, and you ain't leaving until 6 or 7 in the evening.
Study and
So
practice and weights and
and
oh yeah,
and
yeah.
meetings, all that.
So I got a before we let you go, I got a kind of a 2-part question for you. The
Okay, I
first
got you.
one, what's your fondest memory of playing football? Whether it's high school, college, NFL, what's that one memory that you're always going to carry with you?
Oh man, I got so many of those.
We make people think at the end.
Yeah, we make you think at the end. It's all fun and games at the beginning. At the end, is when we kind of hit you.
1 minute, and I done had. You said the funnest memory.
Yeah, just your funnest. It don't matter. Just that one memory from football that you want to take with you.
Oh, and I won't say the funnest, but I just say this memory right here was a real memory, but a memory that I used throughout the rest of my career, pretty much. So as you can see, I got the Flames tattooed on my hand
Mm-hmm.
right here. So my freshman year in college, my grandpa got into this accident. He pretty much his whole body was caught on fire. Like my great grandpa, born and raised me. Like this was my main guy since I was a kid. And he loved watching me playing football. He was in Abilene visiting my grandma. My grandma ended up getting dementia and stuff like I
Mm-hmm.
got in high school, middle school, whatever. So she was in a nursing home in Abilene. So he went to go visit her from Longview. He went to Abilene. I had some more family members like drive him up, but at the time, this is my freshman year. I'm in college, and so when the incident happened, I'm actually in Fort Worth with a couple of my teammates. We was on like a little summer break our freshman year, and we was heading back. And I didn't know the incident happened. I don't know what's going on, but my mom ended up calling me, and I can hear the panic in her voice. I'm like, what's up? Like, what it is, And she tell me what happened. So I remember as we pull up to the school, the closest burn unit between Abilene and Love that West Texas area, the closest burn unit was the hospital on my campus, like 2-minute walking distance from my dorm. So I'm like, out of all the places he coming here, like Tech. So I remember once the helicopter, I remember seeing a helicopter. I was just standing outside my dorm. I remember seeing a helicopter like getting to land. I take out sprint from the dorm all the way to the hospital. So when I get there, I'm such in a panic too because I don't know what's going on. And then, like I said, just like the man that raised me,
Mm-hmm.
I barely can talk to the nurses. And once I kind of get it out and let them know what I was looking for in a situation like that, well, they was pretty much telling me they was getting them settled in the back and all that. And I went in to like see him. They finally me in to see him. And guys, I went in there. It's like he held on until he saw me. Like it was kind of like it was weird, but when I got in there, once he saw me, he passed away. So like I tripped out. You know what I'm saying? I'm freaking out. Then mind you, I'm way in Lubbock. I don't have no family down. I don't have nobody with me. So I'm trying to battle with it. A couple of coaches know I kid y'all not. I had practice the next day, and this how real football is. I had practice the next day, and this at the time I was playing defensive back. I was playing safety, and like at practice that whole day, it's like the day was just speeding by, and like I was still in the same position. Like I couldn't think. I couldn't do nothing. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to do, and I remember I ended up busting the coverage. Because my mom was, I ended up busting the coverage, and that's how college is. You know what I mean? I ended up busting the coverage, and I laugh at it now because I'm like, oh my god, he like tripped out on me. I bust the coverage guy. He take out running full speed from across. He like on the other field, like he shouldn't even been watching us, bro. He took out running full speed, and like dang near head butted me. You know what I mean? Because they expect a lot from my freshman. He dang near head butted me. he like snapping on me. It was like as he was going off, I was still such in a daze. I wasn't hearing him until I heard one sentence, and he was pretty much like something in the sort of don't let nothing outside of football affect you. When you in it, you in it. You know what I mean? You got, and when he said it at the time, it was the wrong time for him to say it because the man that's raised me just passed away in a fire. Like, you know, so I remember I tried to quit then. And I remember I was in my dorm still having a long night. And as I was dozing off, it's like I was hearing my grandpa talk. And he was like, son, everything gonna be all right. Just go out there and perform like you always do. So I think when I opened my eyes that day too, even already having that long view mindset, that gave me even more of the fire. So out of all my memory, just in going through all that too, like that was one of my main memories I'm gonna forever carry with me. And of course I got the flames and stuff on my hand.
The flame, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So the second question I got, and I don't know if Dustin will have anything after this, but we can end with this one if he doesn't.
Yeah.
Favorite teammate that you've played with?
My favorite teammate?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, why you do me like that? man, I got a lot of homeboys that I met. I won't say a lot, but a certain few. And what's funny, all the guys I really got close with, they all from the South. They either from Louisiana, Alabama, or Georgia, Mississippi, those type of guys.
That's one thing about Southern people. They all gonna flock together somehow. I don't care where you're at. If you find somebody Southern, you're gonna hang out with them.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I got two, but my true favorite, and I still talk to him every other day, man. He's so funny, y'all. His name Ryan Anderson. He played at University of Alabama. We both played DN outside linebacker, and he won two national championships, or maybe three, with Alabama. But when I tell y'all, he is one of the most funniest, countryest dudes I done ever met. Like, I tell him all the time, like, bro, you could have grew up in East Texas. But East Texas, like where he grew up in Alabama, is similar. Everything is kind of similar.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, I tell him that's my boy, Ryan Anderson, man. He from Mobile, Alabama. He went to University of Alabama. He got drafted to the Redskins, and that's where me and him met. And that day we met, we've been my boy ever since.
Mobile, Alabama. That might as well be East Texas. That's like the East Texas of Alabama. Mobile.
Yeah, Mobile, like literally.
Yeah,
it is.
It is. Even when you drive through it, you get that East Texas.
You get that East Texas vibe from it. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he's hilarious, y'all. Like I don't think I can ever be serious with him. Like if we in a room, a coach going off or somebody getting cussed out, like I can't even.
You can't even look at him.
Look at him.
I can't.
You can't look at him.
Or say if I'm not looking at him, he gonna just find his way. He'll just stare at me the whole time. Like I'm like, bro, you finna get us cussed out or get us fined.
We gonna get in trouble.
Look, the thing is, he never cared. That's the thing, though. I'm like, bro, I'm not doing this with you, bro. I am not.
Awesome.
Well, man, Dustin, you got anything else for him?
Man, the only thing I would ask, and usually me or Derek asks, is, man, what's some young advice or some just advice in general you would give to this generation now coming up playing football, maybe looking to go into the collegiate part and one day be in the NFL?
You said what advice I'll give the young?
Give to them, yeah.
Man, number one, keep God. You got to keep God first through it all. You got to, but man, just patience and hard work. Just be patient, man, and with being patient and being dedicated to your craft, being dedicated to your team, being dedicated to yourself. That's gonna be your main. That's gonna be your main kicker to get you. You know what I'm saying, above everybody else. You got to be dedicated because at the end of the day, a lot of people wish they could play football. A lot of people play football for a little bit. It's by you. If you have them true dreams of doing it long term, then you have to start now. And I think with a lot of the younger kids, I think we all been in that spot to where, of course, as kids, you already wishing, man, I wish I got this, or I wish I had it, or I'm already grown. Little do they know, being an adult, hey man, when bills and all this stuff, oh, that's a different life. Then you gonna wish, yeah, I wish I was a kid again. You know, I
Yeah.
don't want-
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the biggest thing is be patient, enjoy the process, and be consistent and dedicated to your craft. At the end of the day, that's what they do that. And I feel like, because at the end of the day, everybody not gonna make it. You can be good. Everybody not gonna get that opportunity, but with those keys, you can be who you want. You can be who you want to give 100% effort at whatever you do. For sure.
I love
I
it,
like-
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. That's some great advice. I
Yeah.
think the process to me is trusting the process, trusting what God's path is for you. Because once you do that, there's going to be trials and tribulations always. It's life. It's just
Right.
going to happen. It's just trusting it and staying on that path, and you get to where you want to be. So
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
For sure.
man, we appreciate you so much for coming on. I mean, it's
Oh yeah,
I pre-
for sure, man.
I appreciate you getting back to me as quick as you did. Man, I've got your number. We'd love to keep in touch with you and just kind of see
Oh, yeah.
what, especially if you do some another camp here in East Texas, around Longview area. Give us
Yeah.
a shout, man. We'll pull you back up here and we'll promote you, let you kind of talk about it on the stream and see if we can get some of the younger kids out there for you from the East Texas area.
hey, and
Oh,
also,
yeah, no, for sure.
I would personally. I mean, I'm sure Derek would agree. The next time y'all doing those, man, let us know. I'd love to come out and meet you in person. I would.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
for sure. For sure,
So-
man. We can definitely set that up. Like I said, we got each other number, and when we,
Yes.
since we get down here, we can set something up for sure. Because I'm around East Texas right now, and I don't think
Okay.
I'm doing a training, and then I'm close friends with some guys at Hyundai, so I'll go up there at Hyundai, and help them guys out. And
I
You know
thought
what
I
I'm
seen
saying?
you up at the
Pretty-
Hyundai on a picture. You was up at the Hyundai shop. Yeah.
yeah, man, I'm up in there really being a good people person, man, and making sure everybody good, and just giving good conversation throughout the day too, So
One of
that's
my
definitely what I'm doing.
my nephews, if I'm correct, my niece's boyfriend is a salesman up there, so that's pretty cool.
At Hyundai in Longview,
Yes, sir.
what's his name?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I knew you were going to ask me that. Oh,
Put him on the
actually,
spot.
his name is Ashton, I believe, or
Ashton?
Aston. Yeah, he's a tall.
Now,
he's
now
a
you
tall-
got him. Now you got him thinking he don't even know if there's an Ashton up there. Now both y'all in the wrong. God.
Hey, I hope he don't be like, so, bro. You told him you've been talking to me this whole time and didn't know my name.
Didn't know my name.
My bad, bro. My bad.
Well, Pete, man, like I said, we appreciate you very much, man.
Man, thank
And
y'all.
we'll definitely keep in touch.
Yeah, for sure, man. God bless, man. I appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man.
All right.
So that was cool.
Yes.
Super good dude. I mean, that's a Longview guy, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's dude, it's super cool. That's super cool stuff.
And it's so cool to hear, like, hey, I was close with this guy, I'm close with this guy, and like he played with him, and like
They played with him from more people from Longview. So yeah, that's
I love
freaking
it
sweet.
when he's going to Washington, the driver's like, okay, hey, and he's like, no, I'm going to Trent Williams.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. I'm
so
going to
cool.
Trent's house. Like me, that's my guy.
Okay, we ain't going to the hotel. I'm going to stay with Trent. So
Yeah.
that is so cool. Well, man, I know there's other things we're going to talk about, but I don't think there's any other thing we should start this off with. Besides, for one, what's the update on the score of the game?
43-42 Indy.
Let's go. Yes.
I want to say 5 minutes before half. 2 minutes before half. 2 minutes before half.
Man, if they get this in Game 7, I am going to be one of the ones that have
Yep.
trusted it. So I'm
Yep.
I'm hoping it happens. But man, there's nothing else to start this off with. We had a massive trade today. I didn't think we were going to get this today. I thought closer to Wednesday, but we got it, man. So I'm going to bring it up here on the screen. Let's talk about this. Are we surprised by where he went? Not necessarily surprised by where he went. I mean, there was really.
I'm
3
surprised
teams.
what you went for.
Oh, me too.
I seen a thing, and I'm actually looking at it right now. Somebody put it on Twitter, and they said the Suns now have the greatest shooting guard room in the history of the NBA. They've got Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, Bradley Beal, Jalen Green, and Jason Allen. They all play the same position. And it says the Suns depth chart. Point guard, nobody. Shooting guard, them 6 people. Small forward, nobody. Power forward, nobody. Center, nobody. I mean, and I told you earlier, Devin Booker apparently wants out. Bradley Beal's going to get bought out. Jalen Green is supposed to be on the move. So what did they trade Kevin Durant for Dylan Brooks and 5 seconds? Are you telling me that's Kevin Durant's worth is Dylan Brooks in 5 seconds?
I mean, here's where I'm at with this, Derek. Is when it started to come out, and obviously all we've heard is San Antonio for the last week, almost 2 weeks. Like, that's all it's been about. He's going to San Antonio. It's been done. We're just waiting for it to pop.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw the asking price and what they were wanting from San Antonio, especially more recently, I knew they were out. They're not going to give up all of that for Kevin Durant now. Now, if we're talking about Kevin Durant 5-6 years ago, it would have been a done deal. I think anybody would have jumped on that if it was earlier in his career, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here's where the Rockets are going to be set back at. You're losing Jalen Green, and you're losing Dylan Brooks. Okay, you're losing one of their best scorers last year. Okay,
Yep.
Outside of Thompson and maybe even Fred VanVleet a little bit, Dylan Brooks is mostly a defender. He's kind of like Desmond and Bane. I mean, they played together. They're kind of similar, but Dylan Brooks is the scrappy shooting guard that he can put buckets in, but he's trying to make you mad and get in your head. He's almost like a Draymond Green, but to me, better offensively. That's what he is. And then, so you give up Jalen Green, you give up Dylan Brooks, and yes, you get the 10th pick. Okay, that's fine and dandy, I guess. But you also give up, so you're giving up 6 picks and 2 people for just Kevin Durant. You're getting nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's where the Rockets messed up. You kept Jabari Smith Jr., who is a Kevin Durant-ish player. He's tall,
Yes.
lengthy, and can score. So now you have 2 of those type players, right? I would have given up Jabari Smith Jr. instead of Jalen Green to kind of keep my shooting guard of the future and maybe give up the same position that Kevin Durant him played.
They gave up their leading scorer, who played all 82 games this year.
Yes.
Jalen Green had 21. So this is how I've started looking at trades in the NBA. So you give up Jalen Green 21 points a game. You give up Dylan Brooks 14 points a game. So that's 35 points a game that you give up. Plus the number 10 pick. Just say that number 10 pick was 10 points a game. Okay? So now that's 45 points a game that you gave up to bring in a 25-point-a-game score. And you're giving up 3 guys. That's depth. You're giving up depth for one person, like you said. So now your benches, they were number 2 in the West. They were number 2 in the West. They did not have to make this move. There would have been somebody at that 10 spot that could come in and automatically help this team get better.
And not only that, like you said, now you have a Thompson asking out, and he's only in he's going into year 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So like now your future is asking out because of this trade you made. It has nothing to do with maybe the Kevin Durant side of it. It's what you're giving up for Kevin Durant is what's the problem is. You're giving up your future for Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly why here recently I'm like, San Antonio, just stay put.
Stay put.
Stay put. Trust the process and stay put. Trust the San Antonio process and stay put. And I'm so glad they did because I feel relief now that I know we're not giving up one of our, stars, because they would have wanted Castle. They've already said they wanted Castle, and they were not going to budge off it. Okay, great. San Antonio stuck to their thing. We're keeping Castle. We would have given up whoever else, but we're keeping Castle. I'm good with it. The Rockets, in my opinion, just set themselves back. And will they be a playoff team? Maybe, because I don't think they're done, but they will not be what they were last year.
So there are reports that I've seen that let me pull this back up real quick so I can give you the correct names on this. I know it's 3 first-round picks. I do know that. It's 3 first-round picks. Jabari Smith, Reed Shepherd, Cam Whitmore. I want to say one more, and 3 or 4 first-round picks for Giannis. There are reports that is being talked about. So now you have Amen Thompson. Oh, I'm sorry, and Fred VanVleet. So you're getting rid of your point guard, your shooting guard, and a crap ton of role players. So you're going to have a core of Sengun, whatever the center's name is.
Sengun?
Yeah. Durant, Giannis, and Amen Thompson. That's your 4. You're going to have to build crap around people. Westbrook will be a free agent. I've seen his name floated out there to going back to Houston. I think they really screwed up. And I think if they make that trade for Giannis, they make the playoffs just for the sheer fact of they're going to have Giannis and KD. That's 50 points a game by itself. And then everybody else can get 10 or 12 points. They'll make the playoffs in the West.
Yeah, I agree. They'll make the playoffs, but Derek, here's kind of my thing, is you're setting your future to be no future.
Yeah, you've got a 3-year window with KD and Giannis together, and maybe a 5 to 7 year KD with Giannis.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I already knew whoever got him was giving up the farm.
Yeah,
you're giving up the farm, and it has nothing to do with KD's game. It's what you're giving up, because you're going to give up your future. KD cannot be the future for somebody. They can be for the now, and this is a now move. This isn't for a 5 to 10 year run. It's for a 3-year window at best.
Yeah.
And who knows what injuries he might tack on because he's getting older. It's nothing to do with his game. There's nothing wrong with Kevin Durant's game. It's just you're giving up so much to get him.
Inserting Kevin Durant into a lineup where you don't give up the farm is great. That's amazing. If you give up, say, 1 player and 3 picks over the next 3 years, that's 4 first rounders in the next 4 years and 1 player. Like if this was Dylan Brooks and 4 first rounders, that's a great trade. You keep Jalen Green, you keep VanVleet, you keep Thompson, you get rid of a 15-point a game score, you bring in a 25-point a game score, and you have him for 3 years. So those picks that you gave up for those 3 to 4 years, you're banking on those being in between 25 and 32. Yep. So that's great. But you're giving up the picks, and you don't know what they're going to end up being.
Yep.
So, yeah, I do not like this. Congratulations, San Antonio Spurs, dodging that bullet. There are still 2 bullets out there that I'm a little concerned about with Giannis and with Jaylen Brown. Again, I'm high on Jaylen Brown. I'm probably higher than most are. But
I do have some breaking news out of San Antonio.
Oh, the coach.
We took away. We got our assistant head coach from the Dallas Mavericks, and I love it.
Yep.
I love it. We still someone from the Dallas Mavericks, and it's the rivalry for me. It's the San Antonio and Dallas, the Texas teams. We still one of their coaches, and he's going to be our assistant head coach, and he's young. I love it. like we're making those moves to become the younger generation or the younger Spurs new era type thing. Now,
I'm going to say the new era, like restarting it.
The restarting of the new Spurs era, and I love it because you have the vets, the coaches are still there. They're just in their new roles. Obviously, we have.
Real quick, I don't know if you knew this. Tyrese Halliburton will not return to Game 7 due to an Achilles injury. In the span of 90 seconds, Halliburton made a three and then suddenly collapsed.
Wait,
so Halliburton is out with an Achilles injury, and TJ McConnell is leading the team right now. He should have played.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, that's a great feel. This right here shows you why depth is important, and not only depth, but role players that get those. Like that's what hurt New York. They didn't have depth because they never played. It's a 48-minute game. When your starters are playing 46 minutes, it's hard to get your footing. Like it's hard to get those reps. You know what I mean?
Dude, we talked about TJ McConnell, recently, but like he's the starter that plays a role game. Like he can be a starter in this league. Like his energy, he can make shots. He's a great facilitator. He's quick. He can play defense. Like. So inserting him into that role now, being the starter in the Game 7 of the NBA Finals, it does two things. For one, for Oklahoma City, now you're having a game plan for TJ McConnell on the fly of seeing him more often than you do.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a lot of things that are going to throw OKC off in that moment. I hate Halliburton gets hurt.
He played 7 minutes and he was 3 of 5 for 9 points.
You hate to see that because let me tell you what's going to happen. If something happens and Indiana doesn't lose, that's all we want to hear about is what if Halliburton would have played.
Yeah.
You already know how it goes. I hate to see your stars not playing because that's always going to be the excuse. That person didn't play. So I hate it for Halliburton, but I still hope Indiana pulls off because that's who I picked to win the series in 7. And so we'll see what happens. They're up by 1 at the half. So we have another half to go. And, kind of transition. We're still in the basketball world, but NBA draft Wednesday night.
We're
going to be doing a draft show. We're going to be just mostly draft. We're going to be sitting here doing picks, going through the picks, giving us our thoughts on them, possible trades happening in between all this if they happen. Mm-hmm. And we've sent the invitation for if anyone's on the network wants to come on and hang out with us and talk about it, they're more than welcome. If not, it's no big deal. Me and Derek are going to cover it all. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see what San Antonio does. Are we going to make now that Katie's off the board, are we going to make a surprise trade? Are we going to keep the picks? What are they going to do? Derek, what do you think they do now? What are they going to do? Are we going to make these picks or do we maybe go get the Jaylen Brown and we're doing it on the back end waiting for it? Or do we just take the picks and roll with it as we have thought was not a bad idea now? What should they do now? We know Kevin Durant's off the board. I still think Giannis is off the board. He has made it clear now he wants to stay there. Now I think if there's
they want 5. Did you see the package they want for Giannis?
Oh, it's got to be ridiculous.
It's Castle, Vassell, Johnson, the number 2 pick, and 5 additional first rounders.
No, ain't happening.
No, it's not happening.
No, it's not happening.
This is what I do, and this is I make 2 phone calls. I call up Boston and just gauge Jaylen Brown. Just gauge him. Whatever. I mean, as long as Castle's not involved, you gauge it. If it's Johnson and number 2 and maybe, I don't know, Barnes, I highly think about that because as good as Harper is, he's still probably a year to 3 away from full potential. And what window does the Spurs have with Wemby and Fox and Castle? You look at all that.
Yeah.
And so I make that call. If that call's not what I like to hear, I hang the phone up. I draft Harper at number 2. I wait. Pick 14 rolls around. I call Utah. I'll check on Lauri Markkanen with the 14th pick. The 14th pick and Johnson and Barnes or something, and maybe an additional second and a first in 2030, something like that.
Yeah.
Bring in a 4. So now you have Fox, you have Castle, you have Vassell, you have Markkanen, you have Wemby. That's who you roll out. You still got CP3 on the bench. Now you've got Harper on the bench. And man, it's
Shohan on the bench.
Shohan's still on the bench. So yeah, I mean it's all there. But those are my only 2 calls that I make.
Yeah.
And if neither one of them are what I like to hear, I'm rolling the dice and I'm taking. Man, I've heard I love the Braum from
Auburn.
in the early second. The kid out of Arizona, the small forward, power forward from out of Arizona. Of course, Harper at 2. I wouldn't even mind trading back in the first, like trading down, should I say, maybe around the 20 range. So I mean, there's a lot of things we could do.
Yeah, I like those. I like the Markkanen. I mean, I think I'm right with you. Those are the 2 guys I would put my interest in and see what they want in return. And like I said, if the name Castle is thrown from either one, you hang the phone up and you just make your picks.
Yes,
it don't matter. And if it's anyone else, I don't. If it was a Nas Reed or it don't matter who it is. If as soon as the name Castle is mentioned, Castle, Fox, or Wemby, I'm not entertaining none of it. Which I don't think anyone's gonna be dumb enough to call for Castle or for Fox or Wemby. They already know, and I think it's very clear they're not giving up Castle. But they're still, if a team wants them, they're going to mention them because they understand what San Antonio has.
So that's exactly what I was just going to say. If we'll just go Milwaukee. If Milwaukee is wanting Castle for Giannis, that's telling me 2 things. They know how good Castle is, and he's a prized possession. So why would we give up a prized possession? Why would we? They're not asking for Joe Blow off the bench because Joe Blow ain't worth crap. They want Castle because A, they've seen him play. B, he could be a franchise cornerstone. He could be a guy. I mean, you put him. Let's see. I mean, think of him in Boston. Think of Castle, Brown, and Tatum. That's solid. That's a solid front court.
In 3 years, that will be the best front court in the NBA.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, we haven't even seen, we've seen glimpses of greatness from Castle in year 1. We're going to see another jump this year. We'll see another jump in year 3. And then year 4, 5, and 6, he's going to be entering that prime.
Mm-hmm.
And so San Antonio, that's the thing I love about them. They know what they have, and you're going to have to give up a lot to get Castle. If you're wanting to give up a Giannis, you're going to give me more than just Giannis because I know what I have in Castle.
Yeah.
After year 1, we know where we would get in Giannis, but we also know what we're giving up, and we're giving up a cornerstone piece of our future, and we're not just going to give them up for picks. It's not going to do. It's just not going to happen. And we're not giving them up for one player. We're going to get more back. So I'm going to stand firm. I'm with you. Those are the 2 players I'm interested in. And I think if you another player that I said I would have interest in is Nas Reed because I love what he brings to the game. But I think those are my 3 players from my point of view. I'm entertaining as long as Castle's not involved. That's it. So yeah. So we'll be here Wednesday again live with the NBA draft coverage. So please tune in there.
I think it starts at 7. I think.
Yep, starts at 7, and we will let you know a time. We usually start at 8, but who knows if we are able to make it 7:30. We'll start a little bit early to kind of get that coverage going.
Yep.
All right, Derek, let's do our poll. We did our poll. It's poll Sunday from the Tired Sports Network with the Bearded Bros.
Yeah.
And we kind of shot away from this, but we really want to bring it back. And we have two quarterbacks that are still playing. We kept with people that are still playing. So with that being said, Derek, I'm gonna put the poll up and give us the results of it and see where we're standing.
So again, I told you I was a little shocked at this. Both won Super Bowl. I think Aaron Rodgers has only been to one Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And Stafford's been to one Super Bowl, obviously, this first year in
LA.
1 year apart. Rodgers started being the actual. Now he was drafted in 05, but he started playing in 2008. Was his first starting year. Stafford started in 2009. So Stafford has 59,809 passing yards. Rodgers has 62,952. So you're looking at 400 or 4,000 yards, but 4,100 yards. So one year worth of yardage, and they'll be the same. Touchdowns though is where it got me. Touchdowns and interceptions. Stafford is at 377 on touchdowns, 188 interceptions. Rodgers is at 503 and 116 interceptions. I'm going to tell you a stat that blew my mind. Aaron Rodgers has 11 straight seasons of less than 10 interceptions. His average was 6.
Wow.
He had like 3 or 4 years where he had 4, like 2 or 3 where he had 8, a couple 7s. The average was 6.
That's impressive.
That's very impressive. For the interception to touchdown ratio is the only reason that I picked Rodgers. That's it. Now, Rodgers is phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. He's one of the top 10 greatest quarterbacks ever. He did it with subpar receivers. I mean, yeah, you had Devontae, but I mean Jordy Nelson,
Randall Cobb,
not the big name guys, not Megatron, not Puka, not Cooper Kupp. No, I mean he's got Devontae Adams now, if I'm not mistaken. Devontae is in at the Rams.
Yeah, yes, he is.
So curious to see what that goes this year. But it was 69-21. I'm sorry. 69-31. I'm sorry. That's a 3, not a 2. So that I was surprised by how far the gap was in this. But shout out Aaron Rodgers. I think a lot of people, I'm not going to say they don't understand how good Matthew Stafford was. I think his years in Detroit, while great, I think because he was in Detroit, he was just like Barry Sanders. I think he was great, just overlooked because it was Detroit.
Yeah, and Detroit wasn't like they weren't good as a whole.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine Matthew Stafford in Detroit since the trade happened? Like, what would have happened if that trade never happened? Does he do? I mean, I'm not knocking Jared Goff. I'm not going to go as good. Jared Goff, this changed his career. His career was going downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew's career wasn't never going downhill because there was never no up in it. The teams were never good in Detroit. So when you think about when that trade happened, you're like, Then Jared Goff is doing phenomenal. But then first year in LA, he wins him in a Super Bowl. So it was the best thing for both teams. It was the best thing for Stafford and Goff at the time, right? And then, Matthew Stafford, phenomenal. To me, he's one of the best throwers ever. He can sling that thing, man. He can sling that ball.
Yeah.
The touchdown interception ratio is not good for him. But again, he hasn't been on the best team. So it is what it is. And you go to Aaron Rodgers. I mean, It's Aaron Rodgers, man. I agree. Top 10 quarterback of all time. He's a gunslinger. They're both older now, but can still play. Aaron Rodgers is in Green Bay for the longest time. You know, him and the coach there, Matt LaFleur, just didn't kick off very well.
Yeah, they just they never
they didn't click. Obviously he wants out of Green Bay. He goes to the Jets, and of course it's atrocious. Year one, first game, he tears his ACL, out for the season. Year two, such a disappointing year. What I like about it, I was glad he wanted to move on from them, and they wanted to move on from him. He wanted to move on from them because it was never going to work. It was never going to work in New York from day one. Maybe that was a sign from him getting hurt. Like, hey, maybe this wasn't the right choice. Like,
yes,
things happen for a reason, right? So I mean, I didn't vote. I always like doing mine on the live to give kind of my take on it. I would pick Aaron Rodgers for now because I know they're both not done. Who knows, man? I mean, I was high on LA last year. They went on that run. I told you they were going to go on that run.
Yep, you sure did.
And they almost made it back to the NFC Championship, but they ran into, who they ran
Philly.
into. So, and the eventual champion. So, great poll. I love doing these, Derek. They're great topics, great things to kind of throw out there. Here recently, all of them we've done past players. I like doing the current players, maybe on the back end of their career. But great poll. Makes me excited just talking about football. I'm so
like I said, we're right around the corner, man. I mean,
around the corner,
once this game is over with tonight, we're on the downhill side of it. We're talking a month away from 2-a-days, from OTAs. I mean, it's we're here.
Yep, it's about to kick off. Oh, man, I really want to talk about this UFC stuff. I've been getting into UFC more and some stuff that happened this weekend I was really disappointed in. But to kind of kick it off, I had to put that little belt up there. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
The first thing yesterday, the main card yesterday was Roundtree Jr. and Jamal Hill. You get number 7 ranked in the light superweight against number 4 ranked Jamal Hill. Man, it was for one, it threw me off. Like, these are the free ones you can watch on ESPN.
I was just going to ask you, where did you watch this at?
So the fight nights are there's usually two fight night weekends before a main card, or depending on how long that main card is. So they're on ESPN for free. I think you have to have like ESPN Plus, which I do because I have like the Disney package. And all that. So, like, I've been wanting to watch more of these fights because I hate buying the pay-per-view. They're so expensive and they're super late. Well, these can be too, but this one was actually overseas. So I was like telling my wife, I was like, hey, you want to watch the fights with me tonight? I'm going to drink a few beers, watch some fights. Oh, yeah. So I do some yard work and I'm like, hey, I'm going to see what time the fights start. Well, I get on there and there's only 3 fights left. I'm like, wait, what did I miss? So I only got to catch technically the last 2 because I turned it on to the last 2. But this was the last fight yesterday. Jamal Hill is one of those. He has the power. He's like he looks for that one good hit. And then Roundtree's are really aggressive. He's always moving. He's very. When I see Jamal Hill, I think of a street fighter, like literally a street fighter with power. And then you look at Roundtree, I feel he's the more technical, waiting for you to throw that wrong punch or make that wrong move, and I'm going to knock you out. That's like, he's really aggressive. This entire fight, Jamal Hill was running. But Roundtree was doing something we don't see from him, which he was being very patient in the fight. He controlled the whole fight. He knocked Jamal Hill down twice. He hit him in the mouth twice. And he never could get the knockout punch, so ended up going to unanimous decision for Roundtree, which moves him into the top 5 in this division, which could set up a really good fight depending on the way they go. But it was an amazing fight to watch. And it was at like 6 o'clock and not at 11 or 12 midnight. So that was kind of cool being able to see the fight. Yeah. But yeah, Derek, I'm telling you, man, if you ever get the chance, man, these usually start at like 5 p.m. and then they go all night. But they're great fights. So it was a great fight. Like I said, Roundtree moves up. I think he should be in the top 5 rankings, and he should. They've both been champions in their division, so they've worked their way back up. If I'm correct, Jamal Hill, this was his 3rd straight loss. I could be wrong, but I think it was his 3rd straight loss. So kind of see what he does next. He's very mouthy and calls everybody out, and the last 3 fights haven't gone his way. Which in the UFC, it's a lot of mouthing. They're all talking. You know how they do. They hype the fights up and everything. And this was a hyped up fight. This isn't the first time they fought. But great fight. A really good fight to watch. And then going into the next thing, I'm disappointed in this retirement from John Jones, and I'm gonna tell you why. So John Jones, in my opinion, is one of the best MMA fighters to ever do it. Ever. His only loss technically came from an illegal hit. I can't remember who he was fighting, but that was his own loss. He's never lost. But he went out, to me, in a wimpy way. His last fight was against Stipe Miocic, who was a champion at one point, and he wasn't in his prime. I mean, John Jones dominated. John Jones I've watched the documentary. He is so dominant. He's been dominant throughout his career. Mm-hmm. When he fought Daniel Cormier, great fights. Those are the fights I always like to join between them two. But he retired. So here's what it came down to. The UFC and Daniel White's been asking, like, who's your next fight? Who do you want? Who do you want? Who do you want? It was coming to the point to where Tom Aspinall was the interim heavyweight champion because John Jones ain't wanting to fight. So you kind of almost had like 2 champions in a way. So this was Saturday. So Friday night, Dana White got a call from John Jones. Hey, who you fighting next? Let's get it going. Like, it's been last November was his last fight. So we're creeping up on a year, but this is nothing new with John Jones. He'll fight, go MIA, 8 months to 12 months, he'll fight again. That's not new. That's nothing new with John Jones. That's what he does, especially later in his career. That's what he's been doing. Well, John Jones tells him, boss, I'm retiring. Shocked the world yesterday because everyone wanted him to fight. Personally, there was only 2 people in my mind he should have been fighting next. One, Tom Aspinall, who now is the heavyweight champion. That he's given it to him, and or Ciryl Gane. Those were the matchups everyone's been waiting for since last November, like for this to be called. Every week, I get on my ESPN app, I'm scrolling down because they usually have the cards pretty set for a certain amount of time. Mm-hmm. I keep scrolling, and we're going into August and October. Nothing is set for John Jones. I'm like, what are we doing? How now he has to retire? We don't get the fight. He went out in a wimpy way. I wanted him to defend that title against Tom Aspinall. That fight would have been one of the best fights of a card in a very, very long time. Let me
ask you this. Does now Aspinall and who's the other guy you said?
Ciryl Gane. I mean,
do they fight? And then John Jones say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to retire. Just maybe he retired to get him off their back.
Here's my opinion. I do not think so. Here's what John Jones has been saying about the Tom Aspinall fight. He has said there's no reason for me to fight him. My legacy is made. What do I get out of this? Mm-hmm. But here's my thing. For one, you're going to get a crap ton of money, and I mean a crap ton of money, Derek. I mean, it would be an insane amount of money for both. Okay. And for 2, you're going to defend your title against the interim champion anyway. He was going to, as soon as he retired, Tom Aspinall is the champion. And he hates it because he did not want it be given to him. He has been wanting to fight John Jones for so long. And now we don't get it. Tom Aspinall will fight soon. Man, I don't know who he fights though, because I mean he's been sitting here waiting. He hasn't done a card because he wanted this fight. He's been holding out for this fight. Unfortunately, it wasn't in his hands. He's been saying he's had the contract. His team's had it written up. He's just been waiting for John Jones to agree to it, and it just it never happened. Now John Jones is retiring. Could I see Tom Aspinall fighting Cyril Gain, or who? I'd have to look at who else is in that division, and then him coming out. I mean, yeah, it could happen, but why not just make it happen now? Give the world what they want. Fight. Go out fighting, because you ain't fought since last November, and he dominated that fight. John Jones dominated that fight, and yeah, he went out fighting, but no one expected him to retire. I just wish he would have fought somebody going out. And then this other fight I have appears this weekend: Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. This is one of the biggest fights we've had this year. This is the light heavyweight, the lightweight division. This is Ilia Topuria is undefeated. He's 16-0. Charles Oliveira has been around forever. He's 35-10. Charles Oliveira's had a great career. He's fought some of the best people you can fight. This fight is going to be so good. I'm hoping that my nephew finds a way to get me his login to watch this fight this Saturday. It's going to be that good. Man, their styles are the same. But I think Ilia Topuria is, I'm not going to say he's going to be too much for Charles Oliveira. The age difference, there's a gap there. And Charles Oliveira's is 35. Topuria's 28, maybe. There's a gap there, but they fight the same orthodox position. Man, this is going to be a good fight. I don't even want to say who's going to win, because it's going to be that good. But if I was putting my money on it, I'd put my money on Ilia Topuria. I think he wins this fight. I think it goes decision. I don't think anyone knocks anybody out. I think it's going to be that. I think it's going to go all 5 rounds. And to me, be one of the best fights, not only this year, but this card. And there's 2 other fights on there I'm really interested in, because like I said, I've been watching these fight nights, and they're actually so good to watch, because it's more of the up and coming fighters. A lot of them are ranked. Some of them aren't. There's this guy. He fights out of Houston, but I can't remember where. He's from another country. His name is Joshua Van. Now, let me rephrase this. These UFC, the games before the main card, again, you can watch on ESPN. So it's the last 3 or 4 fights you can't watch. You've got to buy the pay-per-view or whatever it is. But Joshua Van, he just fought 2 weekends ago. Dude, he is a scrappy little firecracker, man. He's looking to knock you out. Like he's a little guy. I mean, he's so. This is I think it's. I don't think it's a lightweight. I think it's the featherweight or the flyweight. If I'm right, I'm looking forward to his fight. And then you have, what's that guy's name? Tabbert. I can't think of his first name. I think it's Jalen Tabbert. He's another up and coming guy with only 1 loss. He fights out of the USA. I don't know exactly where. Dude, he's so good, man. Like I'm telling you, like I've been getting into this UFC more, and like I actually know people now. Like I look at, like, you have the people that have been fighting, but these upcoming fights, Derek, if you want to see people fight like in boxing, outside of the boxing, the MMA world, the wrestling world, kind of all combined, this weekend will be a good weekend to watch. Even the fights before the main card, man, they're so good. So I'm excited for the fights this weekend. I'm excited to see how this fight turns out. But I think Ilia Topuria will take this fight. Any unanimous decision. I don't think anybody knocks anybody out. Your buddy Juan.
Yeah, I've seen that.
How's it going, Juan, man? Thanks for popping in. But yeah, that was kind of my takes on the fight. And again, I'm so disappointed in the retirement, Derek. I hate when people go out on a retirement on
not doing anything.
Not doing anything, man. Like,
well, to kind of piggyback off that bad news, probably the worst thing that could happen in sports happen in sports. LSU is the national champion of something. So for the next 10 to 12 years, we're going to have to listen to LSU fans talk about being the champion of something.
Yeah.
Coastal just did not show up at all. Either game. Now, it was a sweep, like I predicted. I mean,
Just the wrong way.
It was just the wrong way. Man, could not have happened to a worse team. There's just something about LSU and LSU fans. You can talk about anybody. So you can talk about Texas fans. You can talk about A&M fans. You can talk about Alabama fans. Personally, Yankees and LSU fans are the world's worst.
Mhm.
By far. Man, I don't know what happened to Coastal. But me and you both called it before this ever even started. We said Coastal will make the finals. I also have to tip my hat to LSU. This is the first time in, I think, 12 years that it was a perfect run. They didn't lose a single game in the tournament. So shout out to them for making the clean sweep of everybody. Coach got ejected in the first inning because he told the ump, he missed three balls. He said, "You missed 3. No warning, no nothing. Boom. You're done. You're out of here." So
I'll tell you what, I watched both of them, not all the way, but about half of both games. Coastal's pitching was not horrible. Now, we didn't get the Coastal pitching we've been seeing, so of course that hurts. But on the other side, Coastal's bats were, for one, a no-show in game 1. It was 1-0. They just couldn't get them in. They couldn't get the hits they wanted. So first game, they put up a goose egg. It's 1-0. And I said, first game, I could see them losing. Maybe the jitters of being there, whatever. And then today rolls around. I'm watching the game. It's 1-1. Okay, so we're looking better today. Maybe we have a game 3. LSU's up. They had a guy on first. Bam, single. Guy on second. Bam, another single. Now you have bases loaded. I can't think of the hitter from LSU that came up. Hits the ball. Single out into the outfield, or a double. Actually, no, it was a single, but he drove in 2 of those runs. So now you have one on first, third, and it just kept going. It ended up being 5-3, I think was the final score. Coastal just, I hate to say this, Derek, but I think the moment was too big in the end.
yeah,
Like,
the 1-0 game 1 gave me hope.
Yes, because it's just 1-0. Like,
And
that
it's
means
just game 1.
Yeah,
Well,
both teams were pitching great, and then
But when it hit 5-1 game 2, it was done with. They just didn't have the rally in them.
it just. But did you see that pitcher for Coastal? Dude, he's like 6'8".
Yeah, he's big, and he was having problems with. And this is another thing that I hate about the baseball the way it is now. The technical pitching thing where they like beeping it. Like he changed this thing out like 2 or 3 times because he wasn't getting the
correct
pitch,
signal,
the correct pitch. Yeah. I mean, what's the catcher there for? The catcher calls let the catcher call the game.
The catcher there is now to be a catcher. You're literally there to catch the ball. Like, you're there to be the backup guy to catch the ball. That's what a catcher is there for. There's the catcher, the game for the catcher. I would not be surprised in the future there is no catcher.
Yeah, just let it hit the backstop. Just let it hit the backstop.
What are you there for? Like, you're there
just let it hit the ump. Just let it hit the ump. If it hits the ump in the chest, it's a strike. If it hits him in the shin, it's a ball. Like, just let it go. Screw it.
Yeah. So kudos. I mean, we have 2 champions in Louisiana this year: the LSU Pilots and then the LSU.
Yes. Speaking of the LSU Pilots, not to get off track here, I know we're time crunch kind of a little bit, but I have reached out to the LSU Pilots coach. Yes, sir. Haven't got a response yet. Has seen the message, but it has not. And this was Friday. I reached out Friday, so kind of weekend. I don't know what the weekend looks like for him, and he might be recruiting. He might be just getting off recruiting and wanting to hang out with family. I don't know, but I did make contact, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool to have a national championship and NIA to be on. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else going on. I think we hit everything on the money that's gone over since Wednesday.
Yep.
Like I said, we got the draft coming up Wednesday, NBA draft, so we're super excited about that.
77-66, 2 minutes. Or 77-66.
We'll see what happens with this game. I hope Pacers find a way to come back and win this, but it's man, I'm not mad either way, but I just like to be right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But let's talk about what we have coming on. We do not have a guest Wednesday because of obviously the draft, but we do have a guest next Sunday.
Yes, we do. Out of University of Hampton. So shout out University of Hampton. I want to say he's the running coordinator. Could be wrong on that. I'd have to go back. He's got a pretty cool story. He's special teams coordinator at Hampton University. He's got just his road to where he's at now. He kind of told me a little bit about it, and so it's pretty exciting to where he's come from. We've got another pretty awesome on the 16th of July. It's penciled in as long as it's good on her end, or stays good on her end. We have a local lady about an hour from us, hour north. She is a gymnast for the University of Michigan. So that'll be pretty cool. Be our first gymnast to have on. Something, again, completely different than, the basketball, the football, the baseball. So got that in the works. And I've reached out to quite a few NFL, Major League Baseball people, and I've gotten in contact with a couple, but nothing set in stone. I don't know if you know who Larry Centers is. He's from Tatum. He played for the Redskins. He was a running back, and played had 6,000 or 7,000 yards in the NFL.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's read a message from me, no response, and the young man that committed to A&M last week, the running back from Carthage, I reached out, talked to his dad. He's doing a bunch of camps right now, so he's kind of busy, but that's going to be something coming up. Derek Blaylock, who was a running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, spoke with him, trying to set a time frame up on that end with him. But I've got a lot of stuff out. I'm just kind of waiting. I know summer, everybody's busy, everybody's doing something. So we'll just have to see how everything kind of plays out.
Yeah. Well, of course, guys, as always, QR code over here. Actually, it's over here, that way, this way, whatever way it is. That way. Please scan it. Follow us on all of our socials, all of our streaming platforms. Of course, every week we have the Tire Sports Network hosting shows. Tonight, between 12 a.m. and 1 a.m. Central, we have Recognized Game. And then tomorrow should be, I know she's still trying to figure out her schedule and stuff, but the Mack Truck Show should be on tomorrow.
About around 4.
4. And then we have Crew Talk on tomorrow at 7 to 7:30ish, that range. So please be here to support those guys. And then Tuesday, of course, sorry in advance, we'll be back Wednesday for our NBA draft show. And then Thursday, Casey should be back. I think
Casey should be back. Yep.
I think he got back home on Friday. So him and his dad will be here at 7 p.m. Central to do their show. So be here to support all those people, please. And I'm sure they appreciate all the love. Until then, enjoy the finals game tonight. We have about a quarter left now, and we will see y'all. See you Wednesday
right.
for the Bearded Bros, and we will see y'all then. Everybody have a good week, and hey, watch sports. That's all we can do, man. That's all we can do is watch sports, baby.
That's it.